Oh, there's something here. Before I even do an intro, I found something. Hey, look, I can sit down. So I've come out here on the third video in a series of testing out the OM1 Mark II with the 90mm Mac. We're at the Roseley Centre, and as you can see from the intro, we've already found something to photograph. I was going to go with the whole idea of it's hard to find things in late autumn, but the fact is, it's actually quite easy to find stuff. They're all over the place. You've just got to look. And the main difference between the summer and the autumn is that you might have to flip some leaves or some wood in order to find something to photograph. But we are going to go and photograph some stuff now. And I'm going to try and keep it to not disturbing the insects. So whatever I can find that's already out, I'll photograph. I'm not going to be flipping logs because I want to try and find them natural in the natural environment and photograph them. But this little thing that we found over here, I've no idea what it is, but it's just there. You can get a close up of that. So you can see the size of that insect there, and this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking to showcase the power of the 90mm because it's a 2x macro lens. So we are able to get super close up to this particular insect without having to put any extension tubes on or a Rhinox onto the front of it. We can still do that, however, so if we want some extra magnification, we can. A spider or something there now as well, and it's raining. Now I did just see a spider run across there, but there it is. But while I was doing my talking, he's gone. Let's have a look. It's another small spider. How's that camera doing? Is it getting wet?
Starting to drip, yeah.
Right, we're going to have to put it away then until it stops, I think. In typical fashion, as soon as we press record, it starts raining. So we've retired into here. But even though it started to rain, there's still stuff for us to photograph. There are some bugs on these benches down here. So we're going to try and get a picture of these bugs to see if we can ID them when we get home. So since I am limited to a single shot at the moment, I am going to go with f14, upper limit of the f-stop. And I'm going to switch the flash to a TTL. It saves messing around. I'm also going to turn on the modelling light. That's the same bug that we've just photographed on the stones. Do you want to get in close there so we can get a shot of it next to my finger so you can see the size of it? So using the power of the 2x lens. I've never seen these things before. I wonder if we can get a top-down shot. Oh, yeah. So that one, which was very awkward to photograph, was my ID shot. So I'll use that to ID it when I get home. On pieces of wood like this, I can't really get creative, but it's good for practice and it's good to ID the bug, see what's about. The bird just goes flying right past me. So it's still a good opportunity, but I'm hoping it's going to stop raining soon. I think it stopped. Shall we head over? There's a little patch over there, but I'm hoping to have springtails there, so we're going to go and have a look. So we was out here doing some wildlife photography the other day, which we haven't done on the channel yet, but it is coming up. And we did notice there were some very small insects crawling around on this piece of wood. So I'm going to see if I can find some now and photograph them. But I do believe these are springtails, if we can find one, because they are so small, they are very hard to see. Okay, let me get this out the way and see if we can get in there and have a look. Unfortunately, as typical fashion, he's facing away from me. And it's not like I can nudge him with my finger, because look at the size of this thing. A little thing there crawling around. That's what we just took a photo of. Ordinarily, I'd just lean on the post, but now I know these guys are on here, I don't want to lean on the post. You know? You imagine you want to take a picture and you lean on the post and you're going to squish something. It's really weird. Ordinarily, I mean, most people don't even know they're on there. We're trying to get a picture of them. It's quite hard. There's one. Wow, that is super tiny. I'm going to switch to stacking. I'm not actually going to stack because they're moving around and the depth of field is so narrow. I want to make sure I'm nailing the eye in focus. I'm going to switch to my in-camera focus stacking. Make sure we're at 2 to 1, single shot. Yep, that's exposed correctly. So we are ready to do some fast speed shooting. It's facing that way. I can't get into the bush down there, so if he turns around we can get a picture of him. Yeah, he's running away from me. I wonder if the light off the flash is scaring him. It's a lot of shots just to try and get one in focus, isn't it? So I'm going to show you the full size image there. So even though we've got a 2x lens, these little springtails are very small in the frame. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to break out a 2x teleconverter that fits well with this 90mm macro. So this is the 2x teleconverter. This has been loaned to me from a friend, not OM Systems. So because it's from a friend, you don't have to go mad at me in the comments. But these effectively work like extension tubes with some glass in it. So they'll go in between our main lens and the body, which that will now give me a 4x macro lens, which on a full frame system would be equivalent to an 8x macro lens. And we haven't even stuck the Raynox on the front of it yet, so we can get even higher. Let's go find our springtails again. I would love one to be just out here, so that, you know, we can easily frame it up. So now that we've put a 2x teleconverter on here, it converts my f-stop to f10. So I'm going to guess that my image is going to be slightly more softer than before. And we're also going to be losing light. So I need to reconfigure the flash. So I'm going to go ISO 400, we're at f10, but that's f10 because of the 2x converter. I was actually on f8. So I'm going to go 1/16 on the power. And once you've played with your camera, you're going to know what settings to use. So I'm at 1/16 at ISO 400 f10. So those settings, when I put the 2x extender on in the future, I'll know what power to use. So it's all about getting to know your camera gear. I'm getting distracted because I think I just see one. There he is. Now the good news is the springtail fits the frame. The bad news is it's very hard to find it in the frame. It's almost like you're using a microscope to look around on the fence. There's some super shaky footage. We've got to remember we are at 8x full frame equivalent here. I'm actually in danger of blowing out the highlights. I'm going to go to 132. Yeah, 132 power. So we're not in danger of blowing out the highlights. So it's hard to focus. I'm not focus stacking. I'm in focus stacking mode. That's just so I can nail the focus because these guys are moving, I'm moving. We're 8x full frame equivalent magnification. The depth of field is razor thin, so it's just to make sure I get at least one frame that is in focus. I would love for one to keep still so I could focus stack one, but I don't think it's going to happen, I'll be honest with you. I mean, there's more and more of them turning up, I think, as the wood's drying out, or maybe because of the weather. It's attracting more and more. To be honest, they actually look quite cute for the viewfinder. A lot like little puppy dogs with antennas. But again, I'm not getting a focus stack because they're constantly moving. So what would be interesting is what's my furthest focusing distance on this setup. Oh, right there. That's some working distance, that is, ain't it? So again, you don't have to go far from macro. We've only come, what, 10 feet? Maybe 10 feet to find a different area with completely different textures and possibly different subjects to photograph. And again, in this video, I'm not flipping logs, I'm not flipping stones or leaves because I want to try and find something in their natural environment just to test out this gear. So far, I'm loving the gear and it's absolutely fun to use. Let's see what we can find. You watch me now, just gave that lecture, we won't find nothing. But the thing is, it's so hard to see anything. And to be honest with you, most of the time we spot something, it's because they move. So if something's keeping still, like if it's a springtail not moving, I'm not going to spot it. So I'm going to have a look through my viewfinder, see what we can find. Ah, there's something. Looks like an aphid. Let's have a look. That little guy is obsessed with coming towards the camera. even though I want to get a side profile. Yeah, interesting. Look like I think it's some sort of aphid or something like that. So anyone who's interested into textures, they'll love this type of thing. I'm not, I'm photographing insects. That's them ones we photographed before, around that way. So there's actually two of them right by each other, they're following each other. Right, I want to go around and look at the ones with the moss on. There might be some more critters amongst the moss. When you're doing macro, an area like this you can spend all day on, if it would stop raining. The other thing as well, if you want some background colour, we've got some leaves we can stick in there. I have no idea what that is. Absolutely no idea what that is. It's definitely alive, it's moving, but I've no idea what it is. So again, because I don't know what it is, I'm going to take a top-down shot so I can ID it. It's on the move, so I'm going to be able to stack that one very good. But again, very hard to see, but you know, even though it's late autumn going into winter here in the UK, we're still finding subjects that we can photograph. The difference is they're not pretty, so they're not something that your wife would have on the wall in the kitchen like a damselfly or a dragonfly, but it's still something we can photograph, and it's still something we can keep the practice on and to test equipment out. The thing with stacking, you never know if you've got the shot till you get home, so it's quite a nervous wreck on the way home because you're hoping you've got some shots. Like the old days of film when we just take film and go and process it. You're waiting for that 1 hour process to see if your film is actually any good. I honestly thought there'd be fixed springtails on here, but there isn't from the look of it. At least I can't see them. I honestly thought there'd be loads of springtails on there, but I can't see any. Man, look how flooded it is.
Hey,
What?
they're letting you on the bridge.
Look how flooded it is. Look, there's the bench. So I could peel some of this bark off to see what's underneath. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to disturb the insects, because they are getting ready for winter, I believe, so I don't really want to be disturbing them. But we can have a look under some leaves, see if there's anything about. But like I said before, the hardest part is spotting them, and I only really spot them if they move. I think I need glasses, definitely. But one of the main reasons for the fact that we're not finding that much to photograph is because it is quite flooded. So we can see there. Anyone who knows this area will recognise that bench just there that is really under the water. Yeah, that's certainly flooded, isn't it? Luckily, I've got waterproof shoes on. I think that's probably be about it for now anyway. Ah, we can't even get into the hide. So unfortunately, that's the end of our little outing today, because just around the corner here, anyone who's been to the Roseley Centre will know there's a bird hide just there. That's where we was going to end it, but it's flooded, so we're not going to be able to go any further. The floor is underwater at the moment in the hide, so we can't get in there. So that is the end of this video of me testing out the OM Systems OM1 MK2 with the 90mm macro out in the field on late autumn macro. Although it is hard to find subjects, you can find subjects, it's also hard to get a picture of those subjects because they are schooling around doing their little daily business. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever seen the river this high, because it is very high. That's where I'm going to leave this video. I want to thank you for getting to the end of this video, and as always, I'll see you on the next one. You know, I like this bag, but the tripod mount down here is like an afterthought. It's almost like they made the bag, yeah, and then all of a sudden they're like, we forgot to put a tripod mount on it. We better stick one on there. Well, we are at the Roseley Centre. Is it Roseley? Just waiting for the kiddies to go past, which we can't record because of the safety police. Now, is it? I prefer to photograph something. Right, start again. The what's that? No, it's a piece of fluff.
Babe, I can't get it off me.
So that's where I'm going to leave this video. I want to thank you for watching this video. I want to thank you for all the comments and hate mail that I've had over the last week or so. I want to thank all the Canon wankers for all the hate email and that I've had since switching to OM systems. Look, it's not my fault that your butt hurt because somebody else is using a different camera system. Does it matter? Oh, and by the way, I've still got my Canon on the shelf. It's great as a paperweight. I better cut that out of the video because Canon's supposed to be sending me an R5 Mark II for testing, so that's not bad mouth then. Sony, on the other hand, actually now I've got a Sony video camera, so I can't badmouth that either. Nikon. Let's talk about Nikon. Don't know, I've never used one, so I've got nothing. Thank you for sticking to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe and click the like button. It really does help out the channel. I want to thank my Patreon supporters for their continued support in supporting me and this channel. If you're interested in joining Patreon, then check in the description below this video for a link to Patreon. If you want to continue watching my macro journey, then click one of the videos in front of you now.